The 1972 Lincoln penny was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This specific penny honors President Abraham Lincoln, with the reverse showing the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic American symbol. It's also one of the last Lincoln pennies to be minted primarily in copper before the shift to a copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. In 1972, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were intended for circulation, with no mint mark for Philadelphia and a D for Denver. However, the San Francisco Mint produced these coins as proofs, which are highly collectible. Now, what makes the 1972 S Lincoln cent unique is its proof status, represented by the S mint mark. Proof coins are known for their sharp details and mirror-like finish, making them visually distinct from regular circulated coins. These proofs were made with more attention to detail and lower production numbers, making them a must-have for many collectors. So, let's get into what everyone's wondering: the value. The 1972 S proof penny is generally more valuable than its Philadelphia or Denver counterparts due to its limited mintage and higher quality production. As of today, a typical 1972 S proof in good condition can fetch around $1 to $3. If it's graded in high condition, say proof 67 or higher, you could be looking at $10 or more. The value jumps even higher if it's in an original proof set with other 1972 coins. Now, the value of a 1972 S Lincoln cent can vary based on several factors, including its quality, condition, and whether it's been certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC. The better the condition and higher the proof grade, the higher the value. Some coins in nearly perfect condition can sell for hundreds of dollars. To really appreciate the 1972 S penny, let's go back to the Lincoln cent's origins. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse didn't appear until 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's legacy further, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. 1973 1 cent. The history and value of the 1973 United States 1 cent coin, also known as the Lincoln Memorial penny. This coin might seem like a simple copper penny, but as always with coins, there's more to the story. Whether you're a collector or just curious about what's in your pocket change, let's find out what makes the 1973 penny unique. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, becoming the first U.S. coin to feature an actual person. Fast forward to 1973. And we're looking at a coin that's part of a long-standing series with a few subtle distinctions. The 1973 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which was used from 1959 until 2008. By 1973, these pennies were widely circulated and millions were produced to keep up with the demand. But despite the high mintage numbers, some 1973 pennies are worth more than just a single cent. The 1973 Lincoln penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Here's a quick breakdown. Philadelphia produced around 3.7 billion coins with no mint mark. Denver minted about 3.5 billion coins marked by a D. San Francisco only created 319 million coins as proof coins marked with an S. If you have a 1973 penny in your hand, look closely. A D or S mint mark will indicate where it was produced, while no mark means it's from Philadelphia. Unlike modern pennies, which are made mostly of zinc, the 1973 penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This gives it a heavier feel than today's pennies. The obverse side features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. A small but interesting detail: if you look very closely, you can actually see the statue of Lincoln in the center of the memorial, a tiny feature that many people miss. Now, let's talk about value. In circulated condition, a 1973 penny generally holds its face value 1 cent due to the high mintage, but coins in uncirculated condition, or those that have been graded as mint state by third-party grading services, can be worth more. Circulated condition worth face value just 1 cent. Mint state MS65 or higher can be worth up to $10 or more, especially if it has a sharp strike and nowhere marks. Proof coins from San Francisco, depending on condition, a 1973 S proof penny can range between $1 to $10. Keep in mind that high-grade coins with no wear and strong detail are the ones that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. 1973 D 1 cent. First, let's get into a bit of background on the 1973 D penny. This coin was minted in Denver, and you'll notice the small D mint mark just below the date on the front. In 1973, over 3.5 billion of these pennies were minted, making it a common year for Lincoln cents. But don't be fooled, some rare variations and high-grade examples can still command a premium. On the obverse side, you'll see President Abraham Lincoln's portrait, which has been the face of the U.S. penny since 1909. The reverse features the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. So what's the value of a 1973D penny? Well, it largely depends on the coin's condition or grade. Common circulated coins typically go for about 1 to 2 cents. However, uncirculated high-grade coins, especially those with a mint state MS rating, can fetch higher prices. In mint state grades like MS65 or higher, the 1973D penny can be worth around $5 to $10. In MS67, prices can reach up to $50 or even more, depending on the quality and eye appeal. These higher grades are rare, so if you find a pristine 1973D penny with no scratches, discoloration, or wear, it's worth setting aside. But here's where things get really interesting. Some 1973D pennies contain mint errors, which can increase their value significantly. Look out for double die errors, where parts of the coin's design appear to be doubled. Also, coins with noticeable die cracks, off-center strikes, or other minting mistakes can attract collectors and add considerable value. If you're examining a 1973D penny, make sure to check carefully for any doubling on the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's profile. Even a subtle doubling can make a coin much more valuable. Keep a magnifying glass or loupe handy for closer inspection. 1973 S1 cent, United States of America. Let's kick things off with a little background. In 1973, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for over 6 decades, having first been introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By the 1970s, Lincoln pennies were a familiar sight in pockets and purses all across the country. The S Mint mark on this coin tells us it was produced in San Francisco. In 1973, the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins, as well as some regular business strikes for collectors in general circulation. This particular coin was minted as the U.S. faced economic challenges, making people think more carefully about money and sometimes about the coins in their pockets. Now let's take a closer look at the design of the 1973 S penny. The front or obverse features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor D. Brenner. This design has been in use for over a century. The reverse side shows the image of the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959 to replace the original wheat ears design. Under close inspection, you'll find intricate details like the tiny statue of Lincoln visible inside the memorial, a hallmark of these memorial back pennies. You're probably wondering how many of these were made. Well, in 1973, the San Francisco Mint produced around 319 million Lincoln pennies, including both proofs and circulation strikes. This number may sound large, but keep in mind that mintages for Lincoln pennies often go into the billions. The proof coins, made especially for collectors, were struck with greater precision and are generally valued higher than their circulated counterparts. All right, let's get to the exciting part, the value of this coin. For a 1973 S penny in typical circulated condition, it's usually worth face value, just a single cent. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated or proof condition, it could be worth more. Here's a rough breakdown. Circulated condition, these usually fetch about face value. In uncirculated condition, depending on quality, an uncirculated 1973 S penny might be worth up to $1. Proof condition for proof coins, which are the most valuable among the 1973 S pennies, prices can range from $1 to $5 or more, depending on condition and grading. Coins graded by professional agencies like PCGS or NGC can command even higher values, especially if they receive a high grade like PR69 or PR70. One thing to keep an eye out for is any unusual varieties or errors. Some coins may have double die errors, especially in the date or lettering, which can add a premium. Other errors like off-center strikes may also be worth more to collectors. So it's always worth checking your 1973 S penny closely or even having it examined by a professional. 1974 1 cent. The 1974 1 cent coin series. This includes the 1974 Philadelphia, 1974 D from Denver, and the 1974 S minted in San Francisco. These coins have their unique histories, designs, and in some cases a market value that can surprise you. Our first stop is the 1974 1 cent coin minted in Philadelphia. While many might dismiss these coins as ordinary pennies, they hold more significance than meets the eye. In 1974, America was amidst a period of significant social and economic change. With the aftermath of the Vietnam War and the ongoing Watergate scandal, the nation was seeing substantial shifts in its cultural landscape. Even the humble penny reflected the economic strain, with rising copper prices impacting production. In fact, it was in 1974 that the U.S. Mint experimented with aluminum cents, but they never circulated. The copper penny, like the one we'll explore, continued to be the standard for that year. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse, or the head side, features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor D. Brenner back in 1909. This image has remained largely untouched since its debut, capturing Lincoln's determined gaze to symbolize strength and resilience. The reverse side, meanwhile, showcases the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo in 1959. If you look closely, you can even spot a tiny image of Lincoln seated within the memorial, a tribute to his legacy. 3. Mintage and rarity. 1974 was a prolific year for penny production, with over 4 billion coins minted in Philadelphia alone. That high mintage number typically makes these coins less rare in circulated condition. However, high-grade versions, particularly those in pristine uncirculated or even proof condition, hold greater value in the collector's market. Now let's talk value. In general, circulated 1974 Philadelphia pennies aren't worth more than face value. However, uncirculated coins can fetch anywhere from $5 to $15 if they're in near perfect condition. In 2019, a pristine MS67 grade penny from this year sold for around $2,300, proving that condition really matters. Errors make any coin more appealing, and the 1974 1-cent coin has its share. Look out for double die-up versus DDOs, where lettering appears slightly doubled. While rare, these errors can push a penny's value up to several $100s depending on the degree of doubling and the condition. 6. Collector interest. Though not extremely rare, the Philadelphia 1974 penny is a staple in any collection. Its historical context and the potential for high-grade value make it appealing for both novice and seasoned collectors. If you have one in top condition, hold on to it. You never know when its value could climb. 1974 D 1 cent. Next, we turn our attention to the 1974 D penny, produced in Denver. While it shares many similarities with its Philadelphia counterpart, this coin has its own unique characteristics in collecting value. 1. Historical context. Just like the Philadelphia penny, the Denver version came out during a time of high copper prices and political change. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to manage production costs, and they minted over 4.2 billion pennies in Denver that year to meet demand. 2. Design features. The design on the Denver coin remains consistent with the Philadelphia penny, bearing Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The primary difference here is the small D mint mark under the year, indicating it was minted in Denver. This subtle detail is crucial for collectors because it distinguishes the coin's origin. 3. Mintage and rarity. The 1974 D penny saw even higher mintage numbers than the Philadelphia version, making it quite common. Yet high-grade versions from Denver can also be valuable. Denver coins tend to show better strikes than Philadelphia pennies, and MS65 or higher grades are quite desirable. 4. Market value. In circulated condition, the 1974 D penny is typically worth no more than face value. However, uncirculated examples can bring in $3 to $10 depending on condition. In 2017, an MS68 graded 1974 D penny sold for $2,200 at auction, a testament to the premium placed on top quality coins. 5. Known errors. Look out for any doubling errors on the 1974 D penny, especially around the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." These errors are rare but highly collectible and can increase a penny's value substantially, often to over $100 in high grade. 6. Collector interest. While most 1974 D pennies are common, top-grade uncirculated coins are a different story. Collectors appreciate Denver pennies for their generally sharper strikes and seek out high-condition examples. If you come across a near-mint 1974 D penny, it might be worth adding to your collection or even getting it graded. 1974 S 1 cent. Last but not least, we have the 1974 S penny from the San Francisco Mint, a coin that stands out for its lower mintage and unique collector appeal. The San Francisco Mint is known for producing fewer circulation coins, focusing mainly on proof coinage, but in 1974 it produced about 420 million pennies for circulation. This makes the 1974 S penny scarcer than its Philadelphia and Denver counterparts, but not exceptionally rare. 2. Design features. Once again, the 1974 S penny bears the same Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The defining feature is the small S mint mark under the date, indicating its San Francisco origin. This mint mark makes the coin particularly appealing to collectors. 3. Mintage and rarity. Although San Francisco didn't produce as many pennies as the other mints, 420 million is still a significant number. However, finding a high-grade 1974 S penny can be challenging, making those in top condition more valuable than typical circulation coins. 4. Market value. For circulated 1974 S pennies, value usually remains at face, but in uncirculated or proof condition, 1974 S pennies can be valued at $10 to $20 or more. An MS66 graded 1974 S penny once sold for around $1,800, showing that condition can turn an ordinary penny into a valuable collector's item. 5. Known errors. The 1974 S also has occasional error coins like double dies and off-center strikes. While these errors are rare, they're highly collectible and values can range into the hundreds depending on error severity. 6. Collector interest. Due to its unique S mint mark and the fact that it was produced in smaller numbers, the 1974 S penny holds a special place in collections. It's popular among penny collectors and those building a mint mark series of coins. If you have one in excellent condition, it could be worth getting it professionally graded. 7D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent bad condition. Let's begin with the 1987 D Lincoln 1 cent coin. Even though this coin might seem like an ordinary penny you'd find in your change jar, there's more to it than meets the eye. The Lincoln cent, featuring Abraham Lincoln, has been in circulation since 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. By 1987, the penny was still going strong, but the production methods had changed significantly over the years. In the 1980s, the U.S. Mint shifted to producing pennies using a copper-plated zinc core instead of the previous all-copper composition. This change, introduced in 1982, reduced production costs but also made the coins more susceptible to damage, such as corrosion and scratches, especially in poor conditions. The obverse side front features the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to the left and the year 1987 to the right. The D Mint mark below the date indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse side displays the Lincoln Memorial with the phrase United States of America along the rim and the denomination 1 cent at the bottom. The Denver Mint produced over 4.5 billion of these coins in 1987. Due to the high mintage numbers, most of these coins aren't considered rare. However, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can still have value among collectors. In poor condition, like the one we're discussing, these coins typically hold minimal market value, usually around face value. However, in mint state condition, especially graded MS65 or higher, these pennies can fetch around $1 to $5. Coins with rare errors or unique features can command even higher prices. While the 1987 D penny is not particularly known for major errors, some collectors have discovered coins with die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies. If you find one of these errors, even a coin in bad condition could be worth several dollars or more. Even though this coin is quite common, collectors often seek out specific varieties or error coins from this year. If you're interested in starting a collection, looking for unique errors or high-grade examples can be a fun and potentially rewarding endeavor. So, in summary, while a 1987 D penny in bad condition is usually just worth 1 cent, always check for possible errors or unusual features before tossing it aside. 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent bad condition. Next up, we have the 2006 D Lincoln penny. Though it may seem like another common cent, let's take a closer look at its hidden value. By 2006, the Lincoln cent had already been in production for nearly a century. The penny still carried the same beloved design, but the U.S. Mint had further refined its production processes to keep costs low. Coins from this period are also made with a copper-plated zinc composition, which was introduced back in 1982. The obverse features Lincoln's iconic portrait, while the reverse still shows the Lincoln Memorial. The D Mint mark indicates it was minted in Denver. The design remained unchanged until 2009, the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, when the Mint introduced 4 new reverse designs to commemorate his life. The Denver Mint struck approximately 4.3 billion pennies in 2006. While these coins were mass-produced, they are sought after by collectors when found in mint state condition or with errors. Pennies from this year and mint in bad condition generally don't carry much value beyond face value. However, pristine examples graded MS6066 or higher can sell for around $10 to $15. Keep an eye out for error coins, which can fetch significantly higher prices. One of the most sought-after errors for the 2006 D penny is the double die reverse DDR, where the reverse design elements appear doubled. Other common errors include die cracks and misaligned dies. Even a worn coin with these errors can attract collectors. The 2006 D penny is popular among collectors trying to complete sets of Lincoln Memorial cents. Error coins or high-grade specimens are especially valuable to enthusiasts who focus on the modern Lincoln series. So while your 2006 D penny might not seem like much, always check it closely for errors or other unique features before assuming it's worthless. 2004 No Mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent bad condition. Last but certainly not least, let's take a look at the 2004 Lincoln penny without a mint mark. These coins were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't use a mint mark on pennies. The early 2000s marked a period of transition for the U.S. economy, but the Lincoln penny remained a staple of American coinage. The design, unchanged since 1959, still featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. On the obverse, you'll find Abraham Lincoln facing right, with "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 2004 to the right. The absence of a mint mark indicates it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 2004, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 3.6 billion pennies. With such a high production number, these coins are incredibly common in circulation. However, pristine uncirculated examples can still attract collector interest. A 2004 penny in bad condition is generally only worth its face value. However, uncirculated versions graded MS65 or higher might fetch $3 to $5. Errors or varieties, such as double dies or die breaks, can increase the value substantially. The 2004 penny is known to have some interesting errors, including grease-filled dies where parts of the design appear missing and doubled dies on the reverse. Coins with these errors can sell for several dollars, even in circulated condition. While not the most exciting year for Lincoln cents, the 2004 penny is still sought after by collectors looking to complete their sets. Coins with errors are particularly popular among modern coin enthusiasts. 1999 D 1 cent coin bad condition. The 1999 D Lincoln cent is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. This series was introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 150th birth anniversary. The reverse side of these coins features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing freedom and unity. The Denver Mint, marked by the D Mint mark, produced over 6.3 billion Lincoln cents in 1999, making it a high mintage year. The obverse design showcases Abraham Lincoln's profile, originally created by sculptor Victor D. Brenner in 1909. The year 1999 is positioned on the right side with the D Mint mark underneath it. The motto "In God We Trust" appears along the top edge, while liberty is inscribed to the left. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a detail that collectors appreciate. While 1999 D cents are common due to their high mintage, certain factors can make these coins valuable. Look out for die cracks, double dies, or off-center strikes. Errors like these can fetch higher prices even in circulated conditions. Condition: in grading, a bad condition coin typically has extensive wear, but if it has unique errors, it can still be of interest to collectors. Circulated coins in poor condition are generally worth face value, but coins with errors can range from $5 to $100, depending on the rarity and type of error. A 1999 D double die cent in bad condition could still sell for up to $50 if the error is prominent. Double die obverse DDO: look for doubling on Lincoln's eye, nose, or the inscriptions. These occur when the coin isn't perfectly aligned in the press, resulting in a portion of the design missing. Collectors often seek out error coins, especially if they're unusual or not widely known. A 1999 D Lincoln cent with a significant error can be a valuable addition to any collection, even if it's in rough condition. 2002 No Mint Mark 1 cent bad condition. The 2002 Lincoln cent without a mint mark was produced by the Philadelphia Mint. This year is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series before the transition to the Lincoln Bicentennial cents in 2009. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 5.6 billion cents in 2002, making it another high mintage year. It features Lincoln's portrait with the year 2002 on the right side. The absence of a mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial with inscriptions reading "E pluribus unum" above and 1 cent at the bottom. Although billions were minted, unique errors on 2002 cents can still make them valuable. This occurs when foreign material is struck into the coin, creating a unique imprint. Die cracks: minor die cracks around the memorial building can increase the coin's value. In bad condition, a typical 2002 penny is worth only 1 cent, but error coins can sell for $10 to $150 depending on their rarity. Struck through error in bad condition might be valued around $20 to $40. These are raised areas on the coin's surface where the die has broken. Less common, but if found, they can significantly increase the coin's value. Collectors value 2002 Lincoln cents with noticeable errors. Since these errors are rare, they're often sought after, even if the coins show heavy wear. 1986 D 1 cent coin bad condition. The 1986 D Lincoln cent was minted during an era of significant changes in the U.S. coinage system. By the 1980s, the composition of pennies had shifted to a zinc core with a thin copper coating due to the rising cost of copper. The Denver Mint produced over 4.4 billion cents that year. Lincoln's profile facing right, designed by Victor D. Brenner. The year 1986 appears on the right with a D Mint mark below. Displays the Lincoln Memorial surrounded by inscriptions. Despite the high mintage, some 1986 D cents are valuable due to errors or die varieties. Zinc rot: due to the copper-plated zinc composition, these coins are prone to corrosion, especially if exposed to moisture. Die cracks and doubling: these errors are rare but sought after by collectors. A circulated 1986 D penny is typically worth face value, but error coins can fetch $5 to $100 even in poor condition. Coins with significant die cracks or doubling are especially valuable. Zinc corrosion, while usually considered damage, some collectors seek corroded 1986 D cents if the damage is unique or extensive. Off-center strike errors, these can increase the value significantly. The 1986 D cent might seem common, but error coins have a dedicated group of collectors who prize these variations. Coins with prominent errors can sell for a good premium, even in poor condition. The 1991 No Mint Mark 1 cent coin in bad condition. Let's kick things off with the 1991 No Mint Mark Lincoln cent. At first glance, a worn and tarnished 1991 penny may not seem like anything special, but even in bad condition, these coins have a backstory that's worth exploring. The 1991 Lincoln cent is part of a long-standing tradition of the Lincoln penny series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the iconic profile of President Lincoln, which has been one of the most enduring designs in American numismatics. In 1991, the U.S. Mint produced a significant number of these coins, but what's interesting is that some of these pennies lack a mint mark. This indicates they were minted in Philadelphia, as the Philadelphia Mint does not use a mint mark on 1 cent coins. This year wasn't particularly known for low mintage numbers, but it was the early 90s, a period of transition in coin production techniques. The obverse of the 1991 penny shows Lincoln's portrait facing right, with the inscriptions Liberty to the left and the date 1991 to the right. The reverse side displays the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with the words United States of America and E Pluribus Unum at the top. Below the memorial, you'll find the denomination 1 cent. With over 5.2 billion pennies minted in Philadelphia in 1991, these coins are far from rare. In circulated in poor condition, such as the one we're discussing, it holds little value beyond its face value. However, collectors might still find interest in these coins if they have unique errors or varieties. While a worn 1991 penny in bad condition may not excite most collectors, error coins from this year can be valuable. Look out for errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, or even double die varieties, especially on the obverse where the date and Liberty may appear doubled. If you're lucky enough to find one of these errors, even a penny in poor condition could be worth a few dollars to a specialized collector. However, a standard 1991 penny in heavily circulated condition without any errors typically sells for around 1 to 2 cents, unless you manage to find one in uncirculated condition, which can fetch around $0.10 to $0.25. The 1989 No Mint Mark 1 cent coin in bad condition. Next up, we have the 1989 No Mint Mark Lincoln cent. Let's dig into its history, design, and value. 1989 was a significant year for the United States as it marked the end of the Reagan era and the beginning of George H.W. Bush's presidency. However, in the world of coin collecting, 1989 was another routine year for the Lincoln cent. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 7.2 billion pennies this year, ensuring that these coins were readily available in circulation. Similar to the 1991 penny, the 1989 1 cent coin features Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with Frank Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse. The familiar design elements include Liberty, the date 1989, and the absence of a mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. Given the massive production numbers, a typical 1989 penny in poor condition is mostly worth its face value. However, in uncirculated or mint state condition, these coins can range between $0.10 to $1, depending on the grading. But for those heavily worn, tarnished coins, the value doesn't generally exceed a few cents. The value of 1989 pennies increases significantly if you find errors such as double dies or repunched mint marks. Another error to look out for is the floating roof variety, where the roof of the Lincoln Memorial appears disconnected due to worn-out dies. These errors can sometimes fetch anywhere between $5 to $20, even in poor condition. The 2007 No Mint Mark 1 cent coin in bad condition. Our final penny for today is the 2007 No Mint Mark Lincoln cent. Although it's relatively modern, let's see if it holds any hidden value. The 2007 Lincoln cent was one of the last years before the significant redesign of the penny in 2009, which marked the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 2007 penny is part of the classic Lincoln Memorial Reverse series, which ran from 1959 to 2008. Produced in vast numbers, the Philadelphia Mint churned out over 3.6 billion pennies that year. The sheer volume of these coins makes them incredibly common, especially in circulated condition. The obverse features the same iconic design of Lincoln's profile by Brenner, with the date 2007 in the absence of a mint mark indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. The reverse design remains Gasparo's Lincoln Memorial with the familiar inscriptions. in heavily circulated or bad condition, a 2007 penny is typically worth no more than its face value. However, a coin in mint state condition MS65 or higher could fetch around $0.20 to $0.50. For collectors, the primary interest lies in error coins. Some errors associated with the 2007 penny include die breaks, struck-through errors, and even CUDs, extra metal blobs on the coin due to die damage. If you come across one of these even in poor condition, they might sell for a few dollars, with exceptional errors reaching up to $50 or more depending on rarity. 2007 D Mint Mark full bad condition 1 cent. So what makes the 2007 D Lincoln cent stand out? Let's break it down. The D Mint Mark you see here indicates that this penny was struck at the Denver Mint. In 2007, the Denver Mint produced a massive 3.5 billion Lincoln cents, making this coin quite common in circulation. But don't be too quick to dismiss it, there are still some fascinating details to uncover. The 2007 D penny, like other Lincoln cents minted between 1982 and 2008, is made of a zinc core with a thin copper coating. This change in composition was introduced in 1982 to reduce the cost of minting, as copper prices were rising. The zinc core, however, is prone to corrosion, especially if the coin is exposed to moisture. This is why many 2007 D pennies you find today may have blemishes or wear, especially if they've been in circulation for a while. Now let's talk about value. If you have a 2007 D Lincoln penny in poor condition, one that's worn, scratched, or tarnished, its value will typically be limited. Most circulated 2007 D pennies are only worth face value 1 cent, but there are exceptions. If you come across a 2007 D penny that's in extremely fine or uncirculated condition, it might be worth slightly more to collectors. In mint state grades, these pennies can fetch anywhere from 10 to 50 cents. However, if your coin is heavily worn or damaged, like many found in circulation, it's likely only worth its face value. Now here's where things get interesting. While the 2007 D penny is common, certain error varieties can be worth significantly more. Keep an eye out for errors like die cracks, off-center strikes, or double dies. These minting mistakes can increase a coin's value dramatically. Even in rough condition, an error coin can fetch anywhere from $5 to $50 depending on the severity and rarity of the error. Always inspect your coins carefully. You never know when you might stumble upon a valuable error variety. So what should you do if you find a 2007 D penny in bad condition? Here are some quick tips. Examine it under good lighting with a magnifying glass to check for any minting errors. Never clean a coin, even if it's dirty or corroded, as this can reduce its value to collectors. If you believe your penny might have value, store it in a coin flip or protective holder to prevent further damage. There you have it. While most 2007 D pennies in poor condition are only worth face value, there's always a chance you might find a rare error or a well-preserved piece. Remember, coin collecting is all about the thrill of discovery. So check your change and keep an eye out.